guys, and as usual, welcome to another kit review. So today, as you can see, we're having a look at a kit from Tamiya, 1/35 scale. It is Tamiya's Panzerkampfwagen IV Ausf D. Now the kit number for this one is 35096, and it did come out in 1985. So this is the Ausf D, not to be confused with the Ausf F, which looks very, very similar. The D had a slightly different front driver section. It was almost curved, or I should say it did stick out, whereas the F has a flat front section there, different cupola, and slightly different fittings, etc., different armor, and some additions to the brakes, cooling vents, etc. So, but this is the Ausf D, and this particular kit cost me around $22 Australian. Last time I saw this one advertised was quite a while ago, and I believe it was going for around 35 or something like that. So as you can see, it is a 1985 kit, so the detail might not be super 2020s, but it's still going to be a good kit to put together. Alright, so standard Tamiya white box art. You do get the three figures. They're all wearing early pattern uniforms with the Panzer beret. That wasn't just a simple beret that they were wearing, by the way. It did have a padded helmet inside it. They just did it for style. And on the sides, you'll see we have a history of the Panzer IV. On the other side, 4 more classic Tamiya kits: Whirlwind, Stug 4, Brumbar, and of course the Panzer IV as well. So let's have a look and see what I bought. Vinyl tracks, lower hull, one bag of sprues, which is the upper hull and dry sprockets. The next one is your at least 2 crew members plus fittings for the Panzer IV. The next one is all the running gear and the decals, and of course the instructions. One all in Japanese, one English German, and as you can see, it does have the tech tips, so it is a fairly current kit, even though it does originate from 1985. Alright, so that's what's in the box. In a second, we will have a look at the actual instructions and decals. Right, so let's have a look at the instructions. We'll put the decals aside for a minute. We'll put the Japanese instructions aside. So you do get a reasonable breakdown of the history of the Panzer IV in English and German, and these are old revised instructions. The reason why I say that is because if you look down the bottom here, it says MM, so these are the original instructions from the very first Panzer IVs that came out. And even though this is a 1985 issue, 1985 is the Ausf D. The earlier ones were your standard long barrel 40 Panzer IVs, etc. Overleaf, again, classic Tamiya instructions. This is your front page. It does show you early version, all the differences. You can have the hatches open, although there's no interior. It does show you things like spare track, antenna holster, which is basically a channel. So the antenna just went up, down, as they all did on the early tanks, Panzer IIs, Panzer IIIs, etc., all the early ones. It does show you the parts, accessories, so to speak, toolbox, spare wheel, cleaning rod. So that is standard classic Tamiya from the 70s. So there are no paint callouts. You do have paint that just gives you a name. It does have recommended colors, but it doesn't give you Tamiya colors, even though down here is your Tamiya acrylic paint advertising. So it's transit stage between actually putting the paint codes onto the instructions and just having the name of the color. All right, so let's have a look. Start off with the back of the Panzer IV, exhaust, etc. going together. Then you have your drive sprocket, idler wheel, road wheels. These get polycaps in them. Strangely enough, the idler wheel doesn't. So I'm not sure about that one. Then of course your wheels, your suspension units are going onto the lower hull. The rest of the wheels are going on. This is your crew assembly, and again, just the names of the colors, no actual color codes. These are your front mudguards going into the upper hull. Hatches, etc. You can have the hatches open if you want. As you can see, if you have the hatches open, you can pose the figures sticking out of the hatches, which means that you don't actually get to see that there is no interior, which is not a bad thing to do. Overleaf, top hull, so you get your armor plates and fittings going on the upper hull. All your tools are going on. Tools on the other side. You do get a bucket, jerry cans, accessories that you can place almost anywhere. Then you've got your gun going together, turret, fairly straightforward, cupola, depending on how you want to say it. I've always said cupola, and that's the way it's going to be. Turret, upper hull, go on the lower hull, and done. And then we get to markings. So fairly straightforward. Early versions, Panzer Grey. This does have decals for an Africa Corps Panzer IV, which means you can paint it in a sand color. Most of the early vehicles, Panzer IIs, IVs, trucks, transport vehicles, etc., that went to Africa were all painted originally in Panzer Grey, and then they were overpainted either when they reached North Africa or just before. But there is a shot that I've seen of Rommel's command car, and it does look like it's been painted sand, but it's only dust, because where it's worn away you can see it's Panzer Grey underneath. So that's entirely up to you. You do get a choice of 4 different vehicles to model in this kit, and there you have again another classic Tamiya indicator. All the parts are listed by name and sprue layout, something you don't get in modern Tamiya kits. Okay, so that's the instructions. Let's have a look at the decals. So as I said, you do get to model 4 different vehicles. Poland, France, the Balkans, and North Africa. As you can see, you do have the Africa Corps symbol and various other tactical and unit identifiers. So a really nice choice in markings. These were early war, so soon to be replaced eventually by the long-barreled 75s, etc. So Panzer Grey overall, or dark yellow for Africa. Right, so I'll give you a shot of that. So let's have a look at the sprues. So we'll have a look at the track first. There's your polycaps for the road wheels and drive sprocket, and the track. Standard Tamiya vinyl tracks. As I said, this is an 85 kit, but it is or has been an ongoing issue, so there's definitely no drama about these being too fragile or anything from age. Now we'll have a look at the lower hull. So not a great deal of difference, I mean detail, so to speak. As you can see, this is for your switch to turn it on, the motor on and off, because this is the original 1975 hull with a battery compartment. This is where your motor would fit to drive the tracks. And just to show you, the copyright on this hull is 1975. So Tamiya's Panzer IV has been around for quite a while. What's that? 45 years plus? Oh yeah, coming up to 50 years now. Not bad, not bad at all. So let's have a look at the first main sprue. And as you can see, this is your upper hull, top of the turret, turret sides, commander figure, gun mantlet, gun, breech, cupola. Let's have a look at the upper hull first. And as you can see, some nice detail. So you do get all of the outer plating to go on there to give it a bit more detail. Of course, it's not just plain like that. There's your turret sides. That's the top. Not much detail on the gun breech, but you won't see that anyway. That is your main gun. There's your commander figure. Not too bad actually. I do like the detail of the headphones and the wires. I'll see if I can show you this. The copyright on this sprue is 1977. Alright, so overall this is an old kit. Definitely an ongoing production by Tamiya, so there isn't a great deal of flash on this. Okay, so that's that particular sprue. So the next sprue out we're looking at is this one, and this has your front plate for the machine gun, the driver's slot, hatches, drive sprocket, mudguards, exhaust pipe, and back of the Panzer IV. And yes, this one is also dated 1977, and on the back of that it does say MM Panzerkampfwagen IV Ausf D. So that is very interesting. It's been around for quite a while. So let's turn it around the other way and have a look. There are your hatches. There's your main drive sprocket. So the detail's not too bad. As you can see, that's what makes the difference between this particular Ausf D and other Panzer IVs. This is the front plate, and you can see how it isn't straight and flat. It is actually bulging outwards, I suppose you could say. There are your basic tools, mudguards with checker plate, and the back of the Panzer IV with some really nice bolt detail. That's your Panzer IV exhaust. So some really nice detail on that. So that is the second of the main sprues. So the next brew out is this one. As you can see, this is your other crew members' spare track links, jerry cans, spare wheels, cable, turret bin, etc. So let's have a look. That's the idler wheel, side plates, armor, some really nice detail. Let's have a look at these crew figures. Bit of cleanup required. They probably won't come out too bad, although this guy's beret looks a little bit too big, so maybe you want to replace these crew figures with something a little bit more modern from Mini Art or Masterbox or someone like that. That, by the way, is your bucket that usually hangs off the back of these vehicles. So I'll give you some close-ups of that one. So the last brew out is, of course, all the road wheels, your idler wheel, your suspension units, main drive section, and spare track links. So let's have a look. That's one half of your idler wheel, your road wheels. These are your suspension units, and I'll turn that around because these suspension units have some really nice detail, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up in the camera, but they do actually have a leaf spring detail there. Might show up better in the stills. So it is very faint, but it is a nice detail from such an old kit to put that in. And there you have it. That is Tamiya's Panzer IV Ausf D, kit number 35096. This one came out in 1985. As you saw, the bits and pieces, the sprues, the hull are all different issue dates, but this particular one, this particular Ausf D with the figures, 1985, and didn't cost me much at all. Not sure if this one is currently available. There are early Panzer IVs available, but I get the feeling that they may be Ausf F rather than Ds. Anyway, like I said, that brings us to the end of this review. Hope you got something from it. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, and your comments. They are always welcome. And as usual, guys, until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you later.